Hello, everybody. Really, really sorry about that. Really sorry about that. I hope that the sound is okay for you guys now. We had to do like a little bit of a workaround. Really, really thank you. Like a huge thank you for bearing with me. But hopefully you can hear me okay now. Hopefully it's not too echoey. And thank you for coming back. So I can see we've already got like quite a few people in the room with me. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, it's great to hear from vegan businesses, particularly at this time. But everyone who I've interviewed who has a vegan business has been so inspiring, so incredibly inspiring, and very, very honest about their journey. And so, with the Vegan Chef School, we always will invite people who have their own vegan food businesses, whether that's caterers, brand managers, private chefs, head chefs, whatever it is. They come and talk to the students, and it's such an amazing experience for them because not only is it inspiring, yeah, okay, it's inspiring, that's great, and we can all be inspired by people, but what it also does is it makes people see how achievable it is, because they're very, very candid about things that went wrong, the lessons that they learn. And overall, what I find is like that these people are that they're very, very willing to be open and honest and human. And it really, really helps a lot of people on their journey. I know it definitely, definitely does me. So we've got quite a lot of questions today, quite a lot of questions from my students. And as you guys know, the lady who is joining me today is Frances, who has a vegan bakery called the Female Glaze. So hello, Frances.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Really, really excited. Really excited about this. I hope that everyone can hear Francis okay. So please do give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm hoping for more thumbs up. Okay, so there we go. You've got both of us on screen now, which is great. So Frances is in her kitchen, which is like a very apt place to come from uh, today. So yeah, as I said, I've got a few questions from my students, but if you could just start by telling us a little bit about yourself and also your company, please.
Sure. Okay. So my name is Francesca Francis, and I'm Italian. And I founded my business in July, so 6 months ago, pretty much. And it's a vegan feminist bakery. So what we do is sourcing the ingredients from businesses that are run by women or that support women in different ways. And I do home deliveries. I trade at markets. Um, yeah, that's my baby. That's my business.
Okay, and so what made you decide to do this? Out of like all of the things that you possibly could have done, was it, you dreamt of doing it since a child, or, you just woke up one morning and was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to open a vegan bakery.
So I was working in. I worked in different restaurants and cafes, bakeries, a bit of everything here in London, and I've always wanted to have my own something, like my own cafe, my own restaurants. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do until one day I just like kind of decided that what I wanted was like sort of like a feminist cafe, of course vegan. But what I wanted to do is having this place like very cozy, very welcoming for people to just hang out and do some work, and also offer the space for people to have workshop classes, events that could empower women or just offer a free space for them to do their things. And but of course, opening a cafe is not that easy. So, and then COVID happened, and I lost my job. So I had to improvise a little bit and decide what to do with my life. I was like, okay, what I'm going to do now? I can wait for things to open again and look for another job in another restaurant, or I can finally do what I want and open my own business. So I decided to start very slow from my small kitchen that you can see in the background. And so of course I couldn't host events in my living room. So I had to think of another way to incorporate the feminist aspect in it. And that's why I decided to work with small producers and get the ingredients from them, and also work with charities that could help women in different ways. And now we're planning a collaboration with a charity that supports victims of domestic abuse. But we also have like an environmental one. We work with Bloody Good Period that provides period care to like refugees and women in like poor areas. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Empower women and work with them as much as we can.
Yeah, yeah, and I saw that you actually source. You're very careful, like where you source things like cocoa from. And can you tell me a little bit about that? About kind of like how how do you find these products, and what effect does it have on the women that you're trying to help?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we have like I think 6 or 7 small producers we're working with right now. One is Divine Chocolate, which is not small. It's quite a big brand, but I love what they're doing. They source their coffee, not coffee, their cocoa beans from small producers, and they have a women empowering programs. So I love working with them. But we also have very small producer in London and in the UK, like our chamomile and Earl Grey producer. It's a very small business in the UK owned by a woman. And then we have Girls Who Grind. They're amazing. It's a coffee brand. They source their coffee beans directly from women producers. And so they don't work with third parties in the middle. They just source it directly from them. And they're very honest and transparent about the whole chain of production, which I love. And so we get their coffee from them. And then what else do we have? We have peanut butter from another small producer. What else? I forgot. Coffee, another coffee brand we work with, and we're doing our tiramisu with them.
Okay.
And I have it here. I have coffee here. So it comes in a can, and it's 2 ladies running it. So I love working directly with people. I love knowing who I'm working with and talk directly to them and know what they're doing. But yeah, it's very nice and inspiring to know their stories and know that I'm helping someone like a small producer working, and not like a big brand who doesn't need my help because already have millions of customers. So I love knowing that I'm making a small difference.
And how do you find those companies?
Instagram, online, just it takes a lot of time because they're not very easy to find.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was like, okay, what am I going to look for? Okay, chocolate, women, producer. I didn't know what to look for at the beginning. Now it's getting easier. They're getting in touch with me too, so they're reaching out as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Instagram is helping a lot.
Yeah, 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 and you're amazing on Instagram as well.
Thank you.
Oh, I love how honest you are on it. So, yeah. So, of course, like one of the things that I loved about seeing what you're doing is that you have a very kind of like clear vision. Like I can look at your website and read about what it is that you do, and it's very, very, very defined. But is that something that just kind of like happened, or were there kind of stages to kind of developing that whole idea?
So I decided that I wanted to start my business in like May, and I started in July. So I had like a couple months to plan out everything, and I needed that because I'm very anxious. So I need to have everything planned out to make sure it's gonna be okay and it's gonna work. And yeah, when I go like I try to do what I would like other people to do for me. So when I go on website, I want everything clear. I want to understand what's going on. So I try to do the same thing on my website to make it accessible and easy to use for everybody. I want them to understand what I do, where they can find me, when I'm delivering. I want everything to be clear. And but yeah, I would say I'm always improving. I would say, and so I started with that, and then every month I'm trying to add some new stuff to make it easier for people to have access to. But there's always room for improvement. So it's, can you hear me? Everything okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always.
I have to say that
Sorry.
I have some help. My partner is helping me with the website and Instagram and everything. So it's not just me. I have some help. I wouldn't know how to do this without her.
Yeah. So you actually started in, was it June or July? You
July,
said.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you've got a business that is essentially a lockdown baby. And so how has it been running a business during this time?
So I don't really know how it is to have a business without this like, sort of situation going on. I don't know how it is to run a business without COVID and lockdown.
Yeah.
What I can say is that so I started in July when like restriction and lockdown was easing down a bit. So it was easier to do markets and to like travel around and talk to people when I was delivering, for example. So I had the summer that it was a bit easier, and then after October and November we went to lockdown again. And so no more markets, more home deliveries. It's yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do to run a business during a global pandemic.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't know how it is to run it in any other way, it maybe made it easier for me, and it's gonna be hard when we're not gonna have all these restrictions. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be in the future, but it's yeah, it's a bit of up and downs with markets. Like I book them and then they get cancelled, and I have to go back to do deliveries twice a week instead of once. Every week can be different than the previous one. You don't know what to expect.
Yeah. So at the moment with your baked goods, you're mainly doing postal deliveries, is that right? And then markets.
Yeah, I'm doing postal deliveries and I'm also delivering in person in London.
Yeah.
And then markets, like this month, I only did it twice. I did once, and I'm gonna have another market this Sunday, so only twice.
Yeah.
Well, usually I do markets like every Sunday and every Saturday of the month. Like this month was a bit slower, but it's okay. I'm doing more deliveries, and I like doing both. I don't know which one is my favorite between markets and deliveries because they both have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
When I'm baking, I prefer baking for home deliveries because it's different every time. It's a smaller amount and it's never the same. And then I have birthday cakes, I have custom orders, so it's a bit more fun. But then the day of the actual delivery or market, I prefer doing markets because I can meet people, talk to them, tell them about the business. And it's nice to me. I love doing the setup and so yeah, I don't know which one is my favorite or which one I would recommend. For me, it's working to have both, which means that I don't have any time for myself because I'm working pretty much every day. But I'm lucky because I like what I'm doing, so I don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, I think that as a kind of like young business, the first few years are like that anyway. So, I'm always like encouraging people to start a vegan business where they actually like the day-to-day stuff, because that's the stuff that you'll be doing. And can we just pause for a second and say that I think that I've sorted out the sound problems? So
a little bit of echo before, but I can hear you just perfectly now.
Yeah. There was loads of echo. The echo's gone. So I finally sorted it out. Thank you for bearing with me, Francis, and everybody else. So we got there eventually. So I'll have to like write it down and actually remember how I did it this time.
Yes. Well done.
Well, technology has ended up playing like such a massive role in all of our businesses in whichever way, we come into contact with it. And I think, particularly like since the pandemic happened, like more and more and more, we're having to like bring these things into our lives.
Yeah,
And
like
for
Zoom.
me,
What was Zoom before that?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And for somebody who like I would rather just be, just give me like a load of paints or a load of ingredients to play with or some clay to make a pot with, and I'm quite happy to do that. All this technology stuff, I'm like, what, really?
No, but you're doing great. You're doing great.
Well, I have a very understanding audience, so I mean, many have been the time that I've actually started a live cook along and they haven't been able to hear me. So, and they've still been coming back for like 156 shows, I think we've done so far. So,
But they could see you. They could see you making the recipes. That's fine, even if they couldn't hear
yeah,
you.
yeah, they don't need to hear me. Right, okay, so I do have some questions lined up for you from some of my lovely students. So Annie was first, and she said that she'd like to ask how you get started, and you have answered that in part, but she has also asked, what did you do to grow your business?
Okay, so my business is still very small. Very small. As you can see, this is the kitchen. I'm still doing my deliveries myself on public transport. I don't even have a car. So it's a very, very small business. It's just me. That's it. But what I'm doing, so Instagram is helping a lot. So I would say build up a good Instagram account and work with blogger and influencer. That helps like a lot. So I would say go for that. And also like good picture. So a good brand, it's what you need to grow your business, I would say. So take some time to work on that before you actually start your business and you start like trading. Build a good brand, take nice pictures. I would say always use the same colors, the same filters, the same font, for people to understand who you are. I like what I'm trying to do, what I'm aiming to. It's when people see my photos of my products, I want them to understand that it's me. I want them to see it and be like, okay, this is a female glaze cookie, for example. And I think I'm doing quite well with that. I think you can tell when you see one of my product that it's my
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, actually now is probably like quite a good time for me to show everyone your website. So anyone who hasn't seen it. So here's the Female Glaze website. So really, really beautiful, really, really stunning. I love the image of the women's heads there as well. It kind of, you managed to convey the ideas behind it, but in a very, very beautiful way.
Thank you.
So, so just having a look at some of the cookies and cakes and stuff that you've got, and yeah, I mean the food photography is amazing. Everything looks really, really delicious, and this is all photographs that you've been taking in your kitchen.
Yeah, in the table behind me. Yep.
Yeah, so not a huge space.
But again, my girlfriend's a photographer too, so I have some help from her.
Aha!
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just looking at the Frida Kahlo, which I have to say I think is my favourite, because I think the picture is absolutely stunning, and also I'm a big fan of Frida Kahlo. And so that's a really, really lovely thing that you do, is that all of your baked goods are named after feminist icons, I would say.
Yeah, some are more famous, like we have Michelle Obama, we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Cleopatra, but some are not so well known, like the Beatriz, Carolina Beatriz Angelo. She was the first woman who voted in Portugal, and she managed to vote when women weren't allowed to vote. But she was like legal age to vote, and she was head of her household because everybody else was dead. So she just showed up and voted because she could, like legally she could vote. So
Yeah.
she did that, and then they changed the law and didn't allow women to vote for many, many years, but she still managed to do it.
Wow.
So I think she deserved a pastel de nata named after her.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What it reminded me of, when I was 16, I was into a British, well, yeah, British band, a Welsh band actually, called the Manic Street Preachers, and they opened me up to like so many different, inspirational people, because, in their lyrics they would have like lines from different kind of like social theorists and philosophers and stuff like that, and in the little CD inlay cards, which you don't have nowadays. You don't have CDs, but when you used to get them, and they would list like where all of these quotes were from.
Wow.
Which,
Okay.
as a 16-year-old, like, it's really amazing to be opened up to those things. And I think that, I can definitely see that with what you're doing, is that, you'll have people following you and they'll be like, yeah, I don't know that name. And so I will go away to the internet and I will research it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, tell a bit of their stories, and then I like to think that people are gonna go home and maybe research about them, and when they hear their name again, they're gonna be, oh yeah, I know this woman,
Yeah.
I know what she did.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, kind of like honoring those people, and just opening up new audiences to them
Yeah.
as well, is, really, really good. Really, really good. Okay, so we've got a few more questions. So Jen, one of my chef students, has actually met you, and absolutely loves your food, because Jen lives in London, so yeah. And she has asked, what was the most challenging aspect of starting a business? Was it marketing, legal stuff, sourcing reliable suppliers, or what was it? What was the most challenging?
I think I just realized with Jenny is, okay, I got it. Okay, I know her. I met her. Okay, I got it. Hi, Jen. Let's say that I think so. I said before that I'm a very anxious person, so I need to have everything ready and planned out. So I make loads of lists. So I have lists everywhere for everything I need, because I need to know what's gonna happen next. And I think the thing that scared me the most at the beginning was the food hygiene inspection that I was about to see. Because I didn't know what to expect, because I've always worked in restaurants. So I know how it works there. I know what you need to have in the kitchen, how you need to be ready for that. But I didn't know I was in your home. So I kind of got ready for for like an inspection of a 5-star restaurant, because I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I had everything. I had all the files on my computer. I had my first aid ready under my sink. I have everything ready for that. Then the inspector came like 2 weeks ago, and they were like, okay, we have to give you 5 stars because you're way too on top of the game. Like, okay, yeah. I've always worked in big restaurants. I didn't know what to do, so I just did everything. But yeah, I think that was the thing that scared me the most at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But with like marketing and stuff like that, I just kind of started so slow and little that I wasn't too scared about that, because I just tried to build a good Instagram page and work on that, get to work with good bloggers that could promote my business.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't very like worried about that. And also with suppliers, I'm trying to work with people I can trust and rely on. So very small suppliers, I can just contact directly and ask for the things I need. And everything else comes from, again, like supermarkets and stuff like that, because I don't have space for like a bag of 20 kilos of flour in my kitchen. So I have to go and buy it myself next door. So that's easy. It takes a lot of time. I wouldn't recommend to do that. So if you can get a supplier to work with, it's easier for you, because you don't have to spend a whole day going around looking for white chocolate like I did the other day. Now I found a supplier for that. They're going to bring it to me. I don't have to go and look for it in every organic shop in my area.
Yeah.
I'm going to have someone delivering to me. But yeah, supplier, that helps a lot.
Yeah, I think that that thing about getting the health inspectors around, a lot of students say to me that's the thing that they're worried about. I think they expect them to be, very kind of authoritarian and quite scary, and kind of looking to see if like there's just a little bit of dust like everywhere, and they're not like that at all. They're not there to catch you out.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been told, that the UK is like one of the easiest countries to start a food business from home in. So, they're not there to catch you out. They are actually like really supportive. And if ever I was kind of like worried about what they would say about something, I was just really upfront with them, and I'd actually say, well, I've got this issue. What do you recommend that I do about it? And they just loved that because they're a source of knowledge, they like being asked. They are just human beings. So
It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It was very chill. She was very nice, and everything went well. And yeah, she didn't start looking in every corner of my kitchen looking for things
yeah,
to like get me in trouble. Not at all. So don't
yeah,
don't worry. It's gonna be okay. It's just a few questions. Of course, it's things that you need to know. Like you need to be careful with allergens and things like that.
yeah,
That's very important. So it's good that you know this stuff.
yeah.
But apart from that, everything is it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, definitely. I had one issue with a food inspector who called non-vegan food normal food, which of course I quickly corrected him about.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the other thing. It's easier with non-normal food, like with vegan ingredients, because you don't have to worry about like meat going off and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
easier if you run a vegan business.
yeah, it is. It is. It
It's
is.
safer,
Yeah,
it's easier.
yeah. They're less worried about so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really, really
It's
good.
another reason to open a vegan business. Is that it's easier to run.
Yes, yeah, definitely, definitely. We've got a few questions from the audience. So Patricia, who is, well, until very recently she was one of my chef students, but she just graduated yesterday, which is very, very, very exciting.
Oh my god!
Very exciting. And her question is, how do you pack as eco-friendly as possible, as cheap as possible too? It's a very good question.
I'm laughing because I had issues yesterday because I was looking for compostable cellophane that I use to pack all my cookies and brownies, and I couldn't find it anymore. It's not on Amazon anymore. It used to be, so I had to go through like hundreds of websites looking for a new supplier, and I found it. I don't even remember where I found it now because I looked through so many that now I don't know which one I actually bought it from. But yeah, it takes a lot of time. But you can find compostable stuff online.
Yeah.
And vegware, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's great for that. They have everything, so you can use them. And then yeah, my boxes are cardboard, and some of them are compostable, some of them are just recyclable. And I use a company called the Cake Decorating Company. They have everything for baking, so it's not just packaging, but they have everything you can think of. But yeah, online, just Google it, and you can find pretty much everything now. They're really upping their games with eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Like, everything is available. It's not super cheap. That's I'm gonna be honest. It would be cheaper to just use plastic, but
yeah,
I want to do that. But you can find sellotape. You can find everything online now.
Yeah.
Vegware, it's great.
Yeah, vegware have been going for a very long time as well. Very, very long time. Really, really, well ahead of the curve. With that, I don't know if you're in the vegan food business WhatsApp group that I'm in.
Yeah.
You are? Okay. Because that's a good source of like knowing like which suppliers you can get what from. So I think what that has really taught me is that with vegan businesses you're not alone. There is one of the great things about the vegan community is that it's a community where everyone wants to help each other out. So all of the vegan food businesses, we're all connected, and we have this WhatsApp group that was started by Lauren. I think it was in the first lockdown. It really became quite active, and everyone was supporting each other. But I've seen like lots of conversations about, we've just run out of Oatly, where can I get some from? Or,
Yeah.
you know, I've got an oven to sell, or, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, I think that one of the things that I want people to know is that if you do want to create your own vegan food businesses, you are stepping into a community and everyone will want to help you out. You know, it's not like other vegan bakers are like, oh, well, I'm not going to tell her because, you know, she's going to steal my customers. Like, it's not like that.
No, yeah, just ask for help. Ask to your friends, like to other students, like get in touch, like stay in touch with with the other students, and maybe in the future you can help each other out and ask other vegans, like for anything. We're here to help, and
Yeah.
we're happy to help this community grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very, and he helped me a lot. Like when I started, I didn't know where to start, and I had a friend who was in this business for ages, so I just called her and I was like, tell me what to do because I have no idea, help me. And she was great, and she helped me a lot. So don't be afraid to ask for help, because in the future you'll be able to help too.
Yes,
So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll pay it forward.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We've got another question from Christine, who said, "I missed where you might have said you were working from your kitchen. If you do, is it hard to balance the normal domestic use of your kitchen with the legal requirements of running a food business?" Okay, so is it hard to balance, you know, the normal kind of like, you know, how you use your kitchen at home with the legal requirements that the FSA have said?
So I try to keep things separate as much as I can. So I have two fridges. One is for like home, one is for the business. I have two different cupboards. I try to keep things separate as much as I can. But as long as your kitchen is already vegan, like mine was, so I don't have any dairy, I don't have any eggs or meat in the house. So even if you use the same fridge for both, it's okay. Just keep maybe different shelves and like keep things separate and like labeled okay, storage okay, but you can use the same fridge. You don't need to have two different ones if you have enough space. Um, but yeah, it's not about keeping things separate. It's mostly about like keeping things organized, because this is this is the space that I have. It's very important that you are tidy and organized, because otherwise things are going to start falling on your head, and you don't know how many things you're going to need in the kitchen. You think it's going to be easy, and you're just going to, yeah, just buy a few more tins and trays and it's going to be okay. No, you're going to need millions of those, and you're not going to have space to storage them.
Mm-hmm.
So being tidy and organized is the most important thing, because it can become very stressful if you're not.
Yeah.
And when you're in a rush and you need to bake and you need to get ready for a market, you need to know where to find everything before it falls on your head. So yeah, being tidy, and that's the most important thing. But I wouldn't be too worried about keeping things separate from like your everyday life and your business, because it's impossible.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to use the same thing for both. But as long as your house is vegan, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we've got another question. This one's from Arouge. Arouge is also one of my chef students. She says, the items that are on your website, is that all available, or do you make it when somebody orders it?
I make them when somebody orders them. So
Okay.
I deliver every Wednesday, and I close my orders on Monday. So I have time to get the ingredients and bake everything on Tuesday. But yeah, I bake everything when they order it. I had people ask me if they could have something on the same day, and it's not possible for me, because I need to get again, I don't have space to store too many ingredients at the same time. So quite a few times I need to go and buy it when they order it. So I need at least a couple days to get everything done.
Yeah.
So no, it's not always available. It's just every Wednesday I deliver. And then of course if they have special requirements, or they need like a birthday cake or stuff like that, they can always get in touch and we can find a way to make it work, of course.
Yeah.
But usually I need some time.
Yeah. But that's great for your business, isn't it? That you're kind of like essentially just making to order, so there's no waste. Like, you know, you're not having to predict like, you know, what you're going to sell each week. So You know, and I always thought that, you know, with all the restaurants that I worked in, the ones that did the best were the ones that had the least amount of wastage.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's so heartbreaking to see food going to waste that
yeah,
I don't want to do that. Even when I'm doing market and sometimes I have some leftovers, I always try to like give them away in every possible way, which can be my neighbors, it can be Olio. Olio is a
yeah.
great platform for that.
Hmm.
And I try to sell what I can when I go home. I put like online boxes like with a discount price and people can come and collect it. But if that doesn't work, I try to give it to friends because I can't eat this anymore. I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't have it anymore. So I need to give it to other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Lucky friends.
Yeah. And I gotta say that I'm pretty good with that, with like wastage. So I always manage to give food away to someone so I don't have to waste it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can eat it sometimes. Yeah, I can eat them.
Okay, we've got another question from a different chef student this time, Sarah. Sarah asked, did you have any fears along the way and how did you cope with them?
I have fears every day. Every day.
Me too.
It can be a small thing. It doesn't have to be like a major one. But I have fears
Mhm.
every time I am shipping um, orders to with like Royal Mail or courier. I'm like, is it gonna get there on time? Are they gonna treat it okay? Are they gonna like flip the box? Stuff like that. It's every day. I
Yeah.
can't sleep. It's like I'm sending my baby away.
Yeah.
I need to make sure they treat it all right.
Mhm.
So yeah, every day I have different fears, and but then you learn how to um, handle them, like to how to yeah, manage your fears.
Mhm.
And next time you're gonna have a similar situation, you know that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
That even if the box get a little bit like messed up, it's gonna be fine because you wrapped it up okay, and it's safe. They can like throw it. It's fine. They're not gonna break everything, hopefully. But so yeah, it gets easier when you get used to your fears. But then another one is gonna come up.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have new things to be afraid of
Yeah.
every day. But
Yeah.
then you learn how to deal with them, and it gets easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the important thing is not allowing those fears to actually stop you from
Yeah,
trying. You know, like technical issues at the beginning. I wouldn't have figured out how to fix that if I hadn't have done it. And I'm sure that like, there was a lot of, you know, issues that you've come up with your, you know, with your business that if you hadn't have tried it, if you just like sat there and tried to work it out and tried to work out every bump in the road that you possibly could envisage having, like it doesn't happen like that. You know, you try, something goes wrong, you try again, something goes wrong. And what is it that they say about like success is just like when you stop failing. Like up until that point you kind of keep failing. But you keep on going.
yeah, and it's okay. You learn every time, and there's no other way to learn how to do things. You don't if you don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking like when I do big markets, and maybe I have deliveries as well in the same days. It happened before that I had market and home deliveries in the same day, and I had to ask people to help me. And the day before, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Something's gonna go wrong for sure. But then I remember that maybe the month before I did it and it
Yeah.
was okay. And that helped me a lot. I'm like, okay, I've done this before. I got this. I can do it. This weekend is gonna pass. It's gonna be Monday and I'm gonna be okay. And yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Just take it one day at a time and it's gonna be fine. And yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, but it's okay. And it's your business. You don't have to answer to anybody. That helps. Like I was much more scared when I was working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Now it's my responsibility. If I fail, if something goes wrong, it's on me. I can deal
Yeah.
with that. I don't have to answer to nobody except for my customers. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the
I
thing. That's
understand.
yeah. Yeah, I always kind of like feel like, you know, my students, my customers are my responsibility, and although I don't have a boss anymore, it's like they're all my bosses. So, but they're very understanding if, you know, things don't go so right, as long as like you communicate with them, and then most people are like, quite okay, when things do go a little bit not as planned. So yeah, and so you actually studied sorry, what was it? Gastronomic sciences.
Yeah, so it's not a cooking school. I didn't do any like cooking class there,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more about like chemistry and food history, biology, anything related to food, but without actually cooking. It's the best university in the world. I love it so much, and it's an international school in Italy, which is not very common. So it was great to have students from all over the world.
Yeah.
And no, it's amazing. It's in a very small village in northern Italy, where you can. It's very helpful to build a great community because you don't have anybody or anything else around. It's just you and your classmates and a lot of wine. So we have like great wine there, and that helps a lot to build a community. Um, so so no, it's a great university, and even if it didn't give me any like practical skills, it, it still helped me a lot to like develop this kind of idea of working with small producers and
Mm.
trying to know the people I'm working with as much as I
Mm-hmm.
can, know their stories, tell their stories, and which is what people like your customer want. That they want stories, they want to know more about the products, they want you to tell a little bit of like a fairy tale about your products and the ingredients you're working with. And that's something that I learned to my university courses, so
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
Yeah, I think that definitely, is something more interesting to people, isn't it? Like that human connection. And,
Mm,
nowadays, like we are so much more aware of where our food comes from and how every decision that we make about what food we buy, how that affects other people and animals and the planet. And, the money that we have in our hands can really change the world.
definitely, yeah. It's like, especially like if you have a vegan lifestyle, you're making such a great difference, and it's a political choice at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And the impact that you can have, it's huge.
Yeah.
Even if you just decide to stop eating meat once a week, it does. You don't have to like go all the way vegan in a day. You can just take steps,
Mm.
and that is still helping so much.
Yeah.
So that's great too. Even, and I
Yeah.
think that with my business, a lot of my customers are not vegan,
Yeah.
but I like to think that maybe one day they they might try. Um, and it's not, of course, it's not just me. It's a lot of other great chefs and bakers and business owners that are doing a great work. And for people that, yeah, for customers that are not actually vegan, but by trying a really good products, they
Mm-hmm.
might change their mind. They
Yeah.
might see that vegan food can be fun and tasty, and just as tasty, if not more than normal.
Yeah, definitely.
Word. Yeah, why do they call it
Definitely.
normal? I don't know. Can't be normal about that, but okay.
I've got a question which I think I know the answer to from Justine, who's one of my chef students, who asked, "Do you use Royal Mail to send
Yeah,
your stuff?" Yeah, you do,
use
don't
Royal
you?
Mail and DHL for my
Okay.
postal deliveries, because these are the only two that can kind of like guarantee a next day delivery. Like Royal Mail is the only
Mm,
one who can guarantee next day, and DHL is like 1-2 days, which is okay for my products. Like they can travel for a couple days, but I wouldn't want them to travel for more than that.
yeah.
And it's okay even if they're out for like a week. It's cookies, so they're gonna be okay. But I want them to get to my
Mm,
customers as soon as possible. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
of
use Royal Mail.
course. Of course. Justine is actually a post person. So,
Okay, good.
so
Thank you, because you're the only one I can trust.
yeah. Yeah. So Christine has asked, how much time do you set aside for recipe development? It's a very good question.
Oh,
Do you have any time for recipe development in amongst all of the baking that you have to do and the researching for packaging and?
it's hard to tell, yeah, because I always try to squeeze it in between of other things. So maybe
Oh,
I'm baking for my customers, and in the meantime, I'm trying a new recipe. Or like
yeah.
today should be my day off, but I'm still baking. I'm trying a new recipe for Valentine's Day. So it's very hard to tell. Maybe I have a month when I'm not working on any new recipes, and then I have a week when I'm doing 10 different ones because Christmas coming and I didn't have time to plan it ahead, so I need to do it the last week of October,
Yeah.
like it happened this month, like this Christmas, and I did everything in a week. But yes, and I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's different every
Yeah.
time. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need to, as soon as you have some time, and if you're lucky to do something you love, like I'm doing, it's, even if today should be my day off, I don't mind baking some more stuff. Yeah, because it's weird when I'm not baking, when the kitchen is all clean and tidy and perfect. There's something off. I don't like it. I need to have some like pans and bowls in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't feel like home anymore.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you do recipe development when you can kind of carve out the time
Yeah.
to do it in amongst everything else. And that's one of the things that a lot of my students really, really want to do a lot of recipe developing. They really love that creative side of it. And so when we do careers sessions with them, I get them to write down exactly kind of like what they want their regular work day to look like, and quite often it is like creating recipes and stuff like that. And then I get them to think about the jobs that they might possibly go for and whether that does actually have that in it, because I think quite often in the food business, there's so many jobs where you're cooking but it's quite repetitive. It's kind of like you just got to do the same thing again and again and again and again, and that can be quite enjoyable, but is that what you want to spend like all of your time doing? And unfortunately, a lot of jobs in restaurants and cafes can be quite repetitive. Every now and again they might change up the menu or something like that, but it's quite rare. And I actually, for most of my chef career, I was a private chef, and that was much more creative, particularly because I worked with a family who were quite open to having different things all the time and experimenting and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that if students want to have more kind of creativity, then really that you have to kind of like build a business that kind of like allows for that, rather than expecting it. But then I imagine that you might get to the point one day where you will have somebody else making all the cookies and cakes and going out to the post office for you.
That'd be great. Yeah, I don't know if I. Yeah, I don't know if I could like not trust, but I'm very. I try to control everything and everybody all the time. I don't let anybody help me in the kitchen. Not because I don't trust them, because I know that I'm gonna be a pain all the time, and I'm gonna tell them like, you can do it like that, or you
Yeah.
maybe just change this. And I don't want them to like people who love me. I don't want them to be around me when I'm baking because I'm very annoying. So I don't know if I can let anybody help me, but I need to work on that. Yeah, I need to get better on that. But no, about the recipe, but before I started, I worked a lot on it, and that helped to create like a good um, place to start. Like now I know that I have these recipes that I know that they're great, that they work, and I can change some ingredients, I can change some stuff to develop new one. So that helps a lot to have like a good place to start, and then you can get creative and just change the fruit you put in the cookie, or the like add some ingredients and remove some others.
Yeah.
That helps. But yeah, you're gonna have to squeeze it in the middle of other things you're doing. I wish I could have a day a week just to work on new recipes, but it's not happening right now.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the first 2 years are always
Yeah.
crazy. And at the moment, we're undergoing, other pressures as well. But I think that if you can get through like this kind of like difficult bit, once this is over, I think things will get like so much easier for you. You'd be like, right, I can put my feet up now. I can do all that recipe developing now.
Hopefully, yeah. One day.
Okay, guys, I'm just going to see if you guys have any more questions for us. So do put them in the comments, and I'll ask Francis any other questions that you've got. Let me just see if we've got any other questions that I didn't ask you from my students. Oh yes, Aruj was asking, did you do market research before starting the business?
Not really. Also, because I started very fast. Like I woke up one day and I was like, okay, maybe I should start doing my things. I'm gonna apply and I'm gonna register my kitchen as a food premise. And then I was like, okay, so what do I do now? Okay, this is done. I need to get started. But I didn't do any research. But I've always been very interested in like the vegan scenario and like knowing what was trending, what people wanted to have, what was like going on in the vegan market. So even if I didn't do any research, I kind of knew what people wanted, just because I've always been very curious about it, and I like to see where people are going, what new restaurants are opening, what people are looking for, and what we have enough of, which I don't think we have enough of anything right now in the vegan scenario. I think we're good, but we don't have too much of anything.
Yeah.
But it's a lot that we still need. So there's space for new businesses that can work on new recipe, like new products. Like I think we need more vegan fish, for example.
Yeah.
We don't have enough of that. So if some of you students please want to create some recipes and start working on new vegan fish, I would love that.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's like a really good message for them as well, because they might see like one or two places doing it and thinking, well, they've got it covered, but actually like there's a lot of space for people who are doing like the same or similar things. And I think one of the things that I definitely see with what you're doing is that it has such a personal stamp on it that no one can be doing what you're doing. So that there will be other vegan bakers, but because you have you've got like this twist to it, and it's something that you obviously like care a lot about, you've put a lot of yourself personally into it, and so nobody else can do it quite like you. So people will come to you because that resonates with them. And I definitely feel the same. Having like the vegan chef school is that it's my baby. I've kind of like built it. The course is built on my own experience and how I taught myself how to become a chef. And so nobody else can do it quite like that. They'll have a different take on it, and that might resonate with some people, and what I do will resonate with other people. So, don't worry too much if you see somebody doing something similar to your idea.
Yeah, and also competition can be good. They can still help you. And for example, with my business, even if someone else would decided to open a vegan feminist bakery or whatever, I would be very happy to see more of that, because we need more. Yeah. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. And yeah, competition can help you. Yeah. It can, because again, you're doing your thing, and if you know that you're like doing a good products and people are gonna like that, they're still gonna come back, even if they're gonna try something new, but then they're gonna come back to you. Yeah. Or they can have both. There's space for everybody. They can have one your product and the other another one.
Yeah. I mean, everyone needs more cookers. So we've got another question that's come through from. I'm not sure I'm going to say your name right. I'm really, really sorry if I'm not going to do that. Aine, or is Anne? Aine, Aine. Where do you get your ingredients? How do you choose your ingredients? I'm currently trying to strike a balance between affordable and sustainable.
It's not easy. So I have these small suppliers I'm working with, and I know I'm okay with that. I know everything is sustainable, and it's not, of course, it's not the cheapest choice you could go for. It's not as cheap as just going to the supermarket and get chocolate, but it's I prefer to do that. I prefer to go for like quality instead of like the cheaper version. But for most of the stuff, I just use supermarket for like basic ingredients like sugar, flour, and I know that it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna, it's quite sustainable. It's okay. It's a good balance. And then it's vegan ingredients, so I don't have to worry about where my meat is coming from. So it's as much that flour it's okay. Nobody's getting hurt in the process. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. So
Yeah.
supermarkets and small producers. That's
I think when you're starting off as well, when it's early days
yeah.
and you're not able to buy in bulk, then of course, that's going to be, a bit more restrictive. But I don't think that should let anyone stop them from doing it and getting started, because I think like once you get to a point where, you've got a prep kitchen and you've got a certain amount of space, and then you can afford to like buy in bulk, and because you're saving money on buying in bulk, then you're able to get products that are a bit more kind of like organic or sustainable or fair trade, or all of that sort of stuff, and it's kind of like I built in a sustainability policy into the school that I was working towards, and so at the start, because like prices, and trying to like limit costs was always an issue. If there was something that we could get organic and it wasn't too much more, then I would, and so we did that. I did that for like the first year and had that as like the policy. And then once I could get to a point where I could actually afford to, to get everything organic, as long as, it was actually available, but, and that did significantly like increase food costs. But I felt like it was the right thing to do, because, we were having Dr. Gemma Newman coming in, the plant power doctor, coming and talking to us about, how bad pesticides were and stuff like that. And it was like, well, on the one hand, I'm trying to get everyone to like, cook in a healthier way and promote, not just, being vegan for animals, but, for all of these other reasons, and, cooking healthier. Can't be then like feeding people pesticides. So, and it does increase costs. It does. But as you say, like it's always this, kind of weighing up the pros and cons of it and doing the best that you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a few things like chocolate and coffee that I want to be sure that it's fair trade, and it's not like, it's not just about animals, it's about people too. I don't want people to get hurt to have my food as well. So I have a few ingredients that I need to be sure that they're good for everything and everybody. But then for others, I'm still relying on supermarkets, and there's always space for improvement, and I hope that in the future I'll be able to have everything like organic and the more sustainable as possible.
And with the organic and sustainability movement, the longer it goes on, the more people are buying that stuff, the cheaper it is becoming. So we've got that happening at the same time. Got another question from Arouge. He said, did anyone ever ask you about your recipes? I mean, your customers. So I think she means like a customer's cheeky and just like, they really love the cookies that you sent to them. Can I please have the recipe?
It happened at markets, I think. It happened a couple of times. I don't remember what I told them. I think I told them that I couldn't give it to them, but I don't remember how I told them. But it happened. It happened at markets, not like on like by email and stuff like that. But it happened like people at markets. But I had to tell them that I couldn't give it to them.
I
didn't remember it at that time.
Sorry.
So, also because I was doing a market and I didn't remember it, I couldn't just tell them the recipe. But then I always end up telling them the ingredients anyway. Even if I don't give them the like all the measurements, I can always tell them, it's this and that, and it's in the label anyway, so you can read it there. You know what's in the products anyway.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I didn't want to give you the recipe. I basically did that. So,
it says on my screen that our live video has ended, and I don't know why.
Oh no.
That was a very, very abrupt ending. They're like, oh, you've just been going on for too long now.
Let me ask my girlfriend if she's still seeing us.
Facebook has kicked us off. Were we being too vegan?
She didn't tell me that it ended.
We might still be going, you see. It might have just been lying to me.
Can you see us, people? Let me ask her. Oh, no.
Facebook can do very, very funny things.
Okay, she's still seeing us.
Yeah. Well, that was a very funny joke that Facebook just played on me, because my screen, so I always have, like, I can see myself on this side, and then I can see the Facebook page on this side with all the questions, so I can read all the questions, I can see who's in the room. It just pinged up and said, the video has ended.
No. We're still here. Yeah. Okay, good.
Well, I'm glad I didn't swear. Going back to customers asking for recipes. That's one of the things that I see on the internet all the time, is that someone will have developed a recipe, taken a beautiful photograph of it, put it up, and underneath someone says, "Recipe, please." And they don't even say, like, "That looks amazing, I'd really like to try it. Would you be able to show me the recipe?" It's just, "Recipe, please." It's very demanding. Very, very demanding. And sometimes I just have to say, well, I can't. It's in the course that people pay for. And that's kind of like how I pay rent and feed myself. So
yeah, at least no. Be nice. Yeah, I still can't give it to you, but at least be nice.
Yeah.
Just recipe, please. I had somebody asking me for a recipe on Olio, where I posted some cupcakes or something that I was giving away, and somebody, instead of asking for the cupcakes, they were like, "Recipe, please." And I didn't reply because I was doing other stuff, and they asked me again, and I told them, "Sorry, I can't give it to you because this is my business. I do this for a living." And they were like, "Oh, thank you for finally replying," or something like that. But they were very rude. I would never do that.
No, it's a bit crazy. We've got another question from Aine. Also, how do you calculate your shipping costs, given that you deliver some of your items by hand?
So, okay, for the stuff that I ship, I'm gonna be honest, I spend more to ship stuff than what I ask people to pay for. So they pay £5 for deliveries, and I spend more to ship things. But that kind of balance with the deliveries that I'm doing myself in London, because it's on public transport, so it's not too expensive. Mm-hmm. Of course, it doesn't pay for my time doing the deliveries. That's gone. I don't get any money for that. But it kind of balanced with the shipping cost that I have to pay for. So this is how I find a balance. I still don't know 100% if this is working, if I'm actually spending too much on that. But I think it's okay. I think it's a good balance, and I am kind of covering all the costs.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of deliveries myself and a bit of shipping.
Yeah.
Shipping is expensive if you want to do next day.
Yeah, it is. It is very expensive, and I think everyone is so used to getting stuff delivered very, very quickly these days. So it kind of like has to be like fairly speedy and reliable and that type of thing. So Aine had another question. With regard to items which include another product, such as your coffee and walnut cookies, did you reach out to the other business, or did you just use them?
I reached out. Yeah, I emailed them and I told them that I was going to use the product, and if they wanted to send me some flyers that I could put in the box.
Okay.
And they could also we could also cross promoting each other. I think it's also great. So yeah, if you get ingredients from a small supplier, get in touch with them. They might send you some promoting flyers, and they can also promote yourself as well. But yeah, I think I got in touch with all of them.
Right.
And they all know that I'm using their products.
Yeah. Okay. So are these the products on your website where it actually do the goods get sent with something else? Is that right? Or they contain it?
They contain it. Yeah.
They contain it. Right.
Yeah, like the coffee and walnut cookies made with coffee from Girls Who Grind, and I also put a link in the website. They can it can link to the website of the producer, so they can see where the coffee's coming from.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's like a quite close relationship in a way,
Yeah.
really, isn't it? It's that, that either they've reached out to you or you've reached out to them, and you both kind of like realize that the ideas that you've got behind what you're doing are quite aligned, and it can be like quite a nice kind of like match, really. So yeah, you promote them, they promote you, everyone's happy. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Let me just see if we've got any more questions. Um, Aim said, that's what I thought. I've done a few deliveries to family as a test, and it's way more than what I want to charge for shipping. Oh, right, okay. So, Aim, do let us know what you are making and selling. If it is, it might not be vegan bakery. It could be anything. It could be anything. But do let us know what it is, and also if you've got like a website or anything like that we can check out. That would be really, really interesting to have a look at. But yeah, she's saying that the shipping was very, very expensive.
Yeah, because if you want to go for next day or like 1, 2, 3 days delivery, it's gonna be a bit expensive, and you can't. I mean, you can charge what you're spending, but I don't know if people are still gonna order it if they have to spend like 7, 8 quid to order stuff. I think if it goes above £5, £6, it's gonna like put people off. But you can balance with the cost of the product itself. You can charge a little bit more for that, and it can cover for the shipping.
Yeah. It's tricky. I think I used to work in fashion. I used to make clothes and accessories and sell them to shops and stuff like that. And I ended up leaving it because people just didn't want to pay as much for things that had been handmade in the UK as because they were so used to shops like Primark and stuff like that. And I think unfortunately some people don't really see the inherent value that there is in something that you do that has like a lot more ethics behind it. You're using not only great ingredients but much more sustainable ingredients from small businesses and stuff like that, because they've been so spoiled.
Yeah.
Because they can go and get very nice, new like vegan cookies from M&S, and they're much cheaper. So I think it's kind of like an interesting like conversation that we have to have with everyone, which it's like, well, you do realise you're spoiled, and things shouldn't be costing that amount.
Yeah, it's about finding like a balance and understand what people are willing to pay for like quality. And if you have good customers, they know that if they want qualities, they have to pay slightly more to have it. But not everybody can understand that.
Yeah.
So you need to find like a balance to make sure that you can still pay rent but keep everybody happy.
Yeah, and I think you connect with the audience who loves what you do, so they're quite happy, to pay more, and to have something that's a bit more, kind of like different. There's a lot of love that's gone into it. It hasn't just been, produced on a factory line or anything like that. So I think it does go back to this thing of how well like you've developed your brand, and it's really connected with the audience, the type of people who will want to buy from you and what you have to offer.
If you're honest and very transparent about what you're doing, people are going to understand why is your product different, not necessarily better, but like different than what you can find anywhere else, and they're going to be willing to like support you and pay a bit more for it. So just be honest and genuine about what you're doing, and people are going to appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We did just have one comment from Aine who said, and it is a vegan bakery that she's setting up. Her website is still a work in progress, and she's not up and running yet. But please do let us know when you are, because I'd really, really love to see what it is that you're doing. So where can people?
I got Wayne's. Yeah. I'm doing a deliveries to her this Wednesday.
Okay.
I got it.
Oh, it's such a little vegan world, isn't it? We do all know each other. Right, where can people find out more information about you and what it is that you do?
So my website
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram, and of course my DMs are always open. So if you have any other question about the business, I'm always happy to answer. And yeah, and then in markets, they can find me. They can find me there, and they can ask me whatever they want. I'll be in Walthamstow this Sunday.
They can ask you anything except for the recipe. They can't ask for the recipe. Anything else?
And I'm gonna end up giving it anyway, even if I don't want to. But I'm gonna end up doing it. So just ask for the recipe, and I'm gonna give it to you.
But you are the female glaze everywhere, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're the female glaze everywhere. So the website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
That's it. Not Twitter.
Not Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, and the website.
And the website. Brilliant.
Just like,
Okay, that's brilliant.
And and the markets, and that's it.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing the time with us. And thank you so much, guys. And I'll see you on Saturday for Veg Fest. Yeah, so we'll be doing Veg Fest. So another talkie show, another talkie week. So thank you so much, and everyone have a very, very, very lovely day.
Thank you so much, Day.
Thanks.
Bye.